Today is the 30th of January. It's getting close to 11 o'clock. And I think it's in the 50s. Not sure. The 10-day forecast has us in the 70s for the highs and the 40s for the lows. So I'm pleased about that. Our weather is continuing to be really, really nice. We got our path done. I'm so pleased. And we're using it for carts already. And we've had quite a bit that we've done. I'm going to try to step off of here without hurting myself. This is my fuzzy wuzzy down at this end. I started on the Vego bed there. I started putting dirt into these tubs, and I've filled 2 tubs, and I'll probably have one more full one, and then probably a half of a fourth. So I don't think these cabbages over here have gotten any kind of heading on them yet. Not that one. That one maybe a little bit. Last week we manually watered the garden, and my rainwater is over on this side, and I think I have one trash can left that has rainwater, and then that's it. So I will probably use it up this week when I water. And we moved this wind wheel, I call it, into the tree well here. I thought it was a good spot for it because this Vego bed is where it was, and we're gonna pull the dirt out of there and move it over a little bit so that we can widen this path a little bit, because when this curve hits right there, it's too narrow for a couple of the axles on the carts. So we want to widen it just a bit. So we're probably going to widen it where that bench, it's going to go under that bench maybe a little bit, and then this is getting moved. But this was also going to get changed up because this Vego bed's taken on tree roots. So I moved the lavender out of there last week, and I've moved some flowers, which I'll show where I planted them. And then these flowers are coming out of there, and I'll show where I'm going to plant those too. And so I'm going to load up the carts with this soil so that we can put a bottom on this Vego bed and keep the tree roots from going into it. So that's going to be happening along with this one. And so what else am I going to show? I think there is heading up of some cabbage over here. Yep. This one's getting there. This one is. That one not so much, but look at the size of that one. That's really a good size cabbage right now. Even those, I might take a picture of that for my thumbnail. I don't know. I kind of wanted to show the pathway, but who knows. Anyway, we made some progress over here. We've got some trenches started. See if I can. I think that's about all we've done. And then I can't believe my tomato plants are still alive. So I'm leaving them alone because we're almost past the point of freezing. So I'm gonna see what happens. It's kind of interesting. And then this, we found a riser right there. And anywho, this is where that Vego bed's gonna go, is in here. But I wanted to get my husband's working on the PVC pipe that he's gonna lay there. And then it's gonna come in here as well. And then he thinks he might put a spigot right here, which I kind of like the idea of that, having one at the end of the walkway. I'm moving everything out of this 4x4. I haven't done it yet, but it's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to move my lemongrass. I hope it lives, but who knows. Anyway, I have a few flowers. I've got a petunia and some dianthus is what I think that is, and then some possibly iris that I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna put those in this pot. I've got it all ready to go. I did that this morning, got this pot topped off with some soil. And so I'm gonna put the flowers from that Vego bed in here. And then I'll show my wildflowers are coming along fine. They're really getting kind of big. We did cover them a few nights, but I think now I'm probably not gonna cover them any longer. And I think we'll probably take the lemon tree cover off as well. I'm gonna start harvesting more of my lettuce there. And then I this is where I put some of the flowers from that Vego bed. I took, and that's an iris and some petunias and some dianthus, and then this is I think that's a lily, but I'm not sure, and petunia and some alyssum. So I topped off these pots with some soil and got these things planted, leveled off again and planted, so they're good to go for a while. And then we moved our fireplace, and I think that's where we're gonna set it up, is right here. And I've got some chase lounges I might put here too so that we can enjoy it, but we'll be able to enjoy the fireplace from this patio. And then these fire urns, my husband is converting them, and they're no longer going to be propane, they're going to be electric, and they're going to have like flickering flames on them, and we're going to set those out probably in the middle of the yard. So he's going to start working on that, but I think today his plan is he's going to start painting all this stuff again. And I have some columns that I'm going to paint out front, so there's still lots to be done. And then I took apart the tomato tower that was over here, and I'm gonna top off all of the levels. And I bought some bare root strawberries the other day, so as soon as I get some compost put in here, or maybe I'll just do potting soil, I don't know. But I'm gonna put some bare root strawberries in there. And then we were able to pick this up and get it on my little table. And then over here is where I put my lavender. It's in that spot right there. And then I think, yes, my gazanias are starting to bloom that are in here. And I've been weeding across the top. It may not look like it, but I have been. So that's another thing that's caused me some work. And then we're gonna go through and purge a bunch of stuff here and organize and get everything squared away. So that's part of our February projects, more or less. But I wanted to get my strawberry tower built, and hopefully we'll get strawberries this year. And what else can I show? I guess I'll show the path from this. And I want to get my Vego beds squared away, this one and over there. But here's my pathway. I'm really pleased. I think it's so fun, and I think we're gonna enjoy the way we have everything coming together. It may take a little while to pull it all together, but overall it's gonna be awesome. Oh, I also got a few more orange tomatoes that were just hanging in the garden where we cut the branches off. So I grabbed those. So I still am eating tomatoes from my garden, and it's almost February. And that feels awesome to me. I just appreciate that I'm able to do that. So I think that's all I'm going to show for today, but I feel like we're accomplishing quite a bit, and I'm pleased with how it's going so far. And we've stayed pretty healthy, and it's back-breaking work, but it's well worth it. That's my garden diary.